Thank you for joining me, Chantel, today. I'm so glad to have you here so that you can share some of the important things that you have learned in the course of your career in your personal life. So, I would like to get started today talking a little bit about your personal life, how you got into this work that you do, and the story that drove you from what you used to do before to what you are doing now.
I love this question. I'm Chantal Lamontagne. I am an intimacy expert, and I've done relationship coaching for 20 years, saving marriages and keeping the families together. 25 years ago, nobody was coaching. When I filed a mortgage request, they said, well, we can't put coach. Are you coaching hockey? So they found another way of expressing what I was doing. So the coaching industry came a long way. And I was there when most of you were in high school. So just so you know. And I got into this because the love of my life left me. The man that I thought I would do my life with left me, and I was heartbroken. And in the pursuit of healing my heart, I found a career. So I had signed up for a certificate, coaching certificate, and he left me. And as I was figuring out how do I heal my heart, people kept asking me, can you please coach me? And I said, I can't, I don't have my certificate yet. And they said, no, you need to do it. I started very unusually for a woman with men telling me, I love my wife. I've done everything for her and she left me. Can you help me to get her back? And I did. I was the most surprised that this, to me, I was going to be a life coach. I didn't think I would be a relationship coach. And then I learned from men, which everything that I wrote in my book was the opposite of what I did. That's why I had to write the book to help women to not suffer from what I had been suffering. So I'm one of those wounded healer who figured out how do I heal my heart, and I found a career. That's how I got started.
Wow. Wow. That is such a powerful journey. So
Thank
it
you.
first starts with yourself. And from there, you started giving your lessons to other to avoid some of the pain that I imagine you had to go through yourself to gain the lesson. And so I want you to talk to me a little bit about.
Just before, let me backtrack a little bit. I spent years going around everybody that I knew saying, I've given my life to this guy. How can he not? And of course, it was part of the problem. So, where we trip as women is we betray ourselves little bit at the time. Are you available? Yeah, you're not, but you're going to make it work. Can you compromise this? Can you cancel last minute? So I didn't know that I was doing all the wrong things. When a woman keeps doing this and putting him first, we lose value to his eyes. They lose respect for us. I did not know this. So the first few years was like, I can't believe this happened. And a friend of mine, a darling friend of mine, gave me a CD from a mentor, and I listened to it, and I understood in that moment that's why he left, because I'd betrayed myself. So I
Wow.
had put an X on my heart, and I said, "That's it." And it took me really a lot of years to feel like myself again. And part of my profession life was like thriving. Personally, I was still like, because that knowledge that I got, then you have to embody it. So it led me to learn about embodiment and co-regulation and how can I recover from the body, not just from the mind from it. So it was many, many years of soul searching, which I don't know if you're familiar with the expression, the dark night of the soul. And the dark night of the soul was absolutely necessary to become who I am today. So today I can look and say, I get it why it happened. My book came out of that. My career came out of that. And in the process, I've helped thousands of couples. And I found a place in me of great love and care.
Wow. That sounds very powerful. What is it that you believe that make us women relate our love for others as putting them first? Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Very important point. Thank you for bringing that up. We are made and manufactured to please and not displease. It is our instinct. You know the expression, a mother is as happy as her most unhappy child? That is true. So if our man is unhappy with us, we feel this angst in our body. We feel it, and we have to get rid of it at any point, including betraying ourselves. So our instinct is saying, please do not displease. But our spirit is saying, you need to grow from this. There's something that's missing within you, a disconnection that you need to connect first, and then you can connect with him. But we do the opposite. I did. We try to fix it over there when we are remaining injured and we don't know. I found the solutions that I was looking for because I couldn't find them anywhere. I couldn't find anybody that would explain to me, this is how you rebuilt your life and you rebuilt your heart. So I had to create it. It was kind of orchestrated by divinity. What I'm teaching today, I created because I could not find the solution anywhere. So our instinct is driving us, but our evolution, because we live in a time of growth, is teaching us to balance it out, listen to our spirit, go inward, find somebody that help you if you need to, and then you can go to him and negotiate your relationship. And that's one of my superpowers. That's what I do for my couples. I negotiate relationship with them.
What do you mean by you negotiate relationships with them?
I was waiting for this question so much. What people don't get, and somebody, my makeup artist sent me a clip of a very famous podcaster who said, people don't change. And I answered my makeup artist, well, she doesn't know my work because every day in my work, I witnessed transformation. This week, last week, one wife said to me, oh my God, my husband is changing completely. The one that I give the challenge to, we were talking about. And he said it to me. I see the change in me. I feel so much better because he used to avoid the whole visiting her family. He used to not go, which created a lot of pain in her. And now they were out on a weekend with the family. He played with the grandbabies. They had a wonderful time. This is a new guy. Done. And then from a place of wholeness, then I asked the husband, so what do you need to be happy with her family? And we write a presentation which he presents to his wife, and then they negotiate. Oh, we could do this. We could come in Friday night instead of Thursday. We could do that. And that takes away all of the irritant. And we have a whole new level of love, mended love, renewed love between them. And men and women both. So there's always a healing with individual, because I see my couples individually, and that there's always a negotiation for him and for her. Because that's the only way that real transformation can be durable and permanent.
So, based on what you said, both of them need to want to do the work in order for this to work. You work with both of them. But what I seen even through my previous marriage is that it's difficult to get the other person on board. What do you do when that other person doesn't think we have a problem? We don't have any problem. In their mind, everything is perfect. And on the woman's mind, I am ready to walk out at any given minute out of this relationship, but they don't see anything wrong. And one of the reasons why they don't see anything wrong is because the woman it's keeping the peace. So she's keeping her peace inside so that she can maintain a sense of security in the home. And that gives him a false sense of an illusion that everything is fine, that nothing needs work. And so how do you go from he thinks everything is perfect to, hey, we need to go see Chantal?
I started my career with only helping men alone. The other partner did not come. I built a reputation helping saving marriages with one person. It's a lot of work, but it's doable. 2, it is my superpower because there's no other words to say. How is it that you invite, and usually it's the man, the woman's evolution started way before the man's evolution. And usually the one who buy the books are women, right? And the woman comes in and she goes, he doesn't want to come in. So, well, let's start. Let's start you and me. And then as things are evolved, I get her to write an invitation that we both craft because I talk men. One of my clients told me that I talk men. I know how to invite him, not making him feel bad, respecting him, and see the value. You see, men will move into action if they will benefit from something. So in the invitation, I show him the benefit. Can I give you an example?
Please.
So years and years ago, maybe 6, 7 years, a tiny woman, 5'1", 90 pounds, beautiful, comes into my office and she says, "You're coaching my friend." I had to lean. She was speaking so gently. And she said, "You're coaching my friend, and I've been divorced from my husband and I still love him. Can you help me get him back?" And I went, "Oh, well." Now, the most feminine will be attracted to the most masculine. This guy is a stockbroker, masculine, action. I don't have time for that shit. And the reason why they divorced is because he got busted with his mistress. So the mistress moved in, they divorced, the mistress moved in, lived with the mistress. It never works, very rarely, because the dynamic of mistress and the dynamic of living partner is two different dynamics. And years after that, I realized that she still loved him. So I worked with her maybe a month. And then she says, "Can we invite him? Can we invite him?" So we crafted this beautiful invitation. And sure enough, he showed up. And this is the guy every week's like, "I'm busy. I'm busy." See, that's okay. We'll do it. But what I need to do with a man like this, an alpha male, very masculine, is prove him to have a results right away. Provide a results right away, and he's going to eat into my hand. And he did. So one to respond to your point, one time she asked for a healing. She's reading the healing. He's listening and he's giving her, because I teach them the protocol of the words that heals a woman's heart. And at the end of the sessions, he says on his own, "I was a dick. I was a dick." And in that moment, I knew that he gotten in a way that I had never gotten before. And then he could course correct. And after that, it was the easiest thing to coach him. I coached him for about a year. 3 years later, she sent me a love note. She says, "I was thinking about you and how much you've helped me. We have found our home." They were looking for a home on the ocean. "We have found our home. And I've never seen my husband so happy." The guy that didn't want to know anything about me, I've never seen him so happy. And he bought a sailboat and he called it Second Chance.
Wow.
And after that,
Wow.
I thought, I think I can reconcile about anybody. I think after this guy, and I earn every penny I got with these people because this guy was hard to coach and he was pressuring me. But I understood that he didn't understand. But as we moved along, because we were progressing, he kept doing the work.
Mm,
And that's how you do it.
that's the important part. If you are seeing the results, you're likely to stay on the path. But how do you get through to a couple that has come to you and one of the partners is doing the work and the other one is just not thinking that this is useful in any shape or form because they haven't seen the overnight success? 'Cause some of us want overnight success, right? If
All of
you
us.
give me enough information that you believe I don't have, then I should see instant results. Most of the time that is not the case, especially when you're coaching and guiding. Nothing happens overnight. But the breakthroughs are immediate. Just like that guy that you mentioned, once he was able to realize how his behavior was affecting the other party, then of course he's able to say, "My behavior has an unintended consequence, and I don't want that consequence for the person I love anymore. And therefore, I'm going to make a change." But when either the wrong set of tools or the person is just not wanting to do the work, when the person just feel too uncomfortable to sit there with the truth, what do you do then?
It's a very important point. In my world, I always say First of all, I got really, really good to figure out where they're at. And I always come from a place of truth. And I will tell the men are like, oh, I don't know. I tell them, listen, this work will help you as a man, first and foremost. And it will help you to be a better version. If this was not, the reconciliation was not possible, you will be better off. And you will show a model of love to your children because you don't learn love from books. You learn it from watching mommy and daddy being together and loving one another. And you can stop anytime you want. But I can guarantee you that you'll come back with the second wife and third wife and fourth wife because that's our reality. And that has seemed to help men to understand that I'm very much, I always see in my work, I'm pro love, pro women, pro men, pro love. So the woman has to win, the man has to win, and the love has to win. I recommend highly, don't separate until you're at peace. So if we only do this, if you're at peace and you talk to each other. One couple came to me, and after a year, I have to tell this man, we've done everything that we could with your wife. You will have to make a decision. And they had to agree that they had to divorce. And 2 years later, he comes back with the most fabulous women. They're married today. And I've coached them, I've coached their adult children. And he's a much better version of himself. He understood after I gave him a year of intense private coaching. And I said, we've worked on everything that we know. Now you have to make a decision. So I wanted him to make sure that he turned his life around, knowing that he'd done everything. So his children come to him or grandchildren come to him and say, why did you divorce grandma? You can say, I've done everything I could. And I work with one of the most excellent person. And at some point I had to make a decision. He's at peace.
So you recommend couples don't separate until they are at peace. But how do you get there? How do you take a relationship with a person that you love dearly, you pick them to be the partner for the rest of your life, and at some point you realize that some behaviors that they have, you are unwilling or unable to accommodate? So how do you get to that point?
I love that in my work, I get to be very creative. So I can only talk about my world. And in my world, the quick answer is you each give them what they want. You negotiate week after week. What does she want? She wants him to take care of the kids. Okay, what does it look like? How can we make this work? And I supervise it. I will give you a secret. I will give you one of my secrets. When you do what I do, and there's exactly the push and pull, I can have the push and pull 20 weeks out of 50 weeks. Easy. But I hold the space. I hold them. I know how to do that. I must have done this in many, many lives before. I hold the space and I understand and I show up with compassion and space. I tell the truth because I've called some men on a few behaviors that were not okay. And they sense that I'm spot on right. I have a great relationship with men because I call it as it is. And I I understand what they're not getting because in the scenario that you're talking about, nobody's getting what they need. So if I can then bit by bit, that's why we negotiate a relationship. Successful relationships are negotiated. If we give them bit by bit, they get better. And then they stop being so at each other. And then we can find better ways for them to see, are we still fitting? You see, I'm the representative of love. Even people who say they hate each other, even people who are, they're really hurt, but I hold the space of sacred love within me and them. I hold it. If I hold it as a coach, they will sense it. I represent their love because it's there. Even with the crap and the you didn't do this and you do that, the love is there. And every week they get a little bit back. And then they can go home. And that's why I have to see them individually and together because I only know the truth individually. Because when with somebody, you will edit yourself. I understand that. That's fine. And I help them to get what they need. So they go up to another level and there's more life force in them to negotiate. Is it worth it or not?
Hmm.
Because somewhere the truth of don't leave this man, don't quit on this marriage until you are at peace. They feel it. They know I'm right. And they will stretch themselves a little bit more. And as they get a little bit more success, and what I do is I play a little game. I tell them, okay, what's your big problem week 1? And then 3 months later, about week 12, I say, so what's this problem? And they looked at each other, they go, oh, it's gone. It vanished. People used to laugh at me. I say, well, your problem will vanish. They used to laugh at me. And then if I remind them, you see the problem week 1? Well, week 12, it's finished. Let's keep on going. You see, produce results. If you produce results, they will keep on going. You're absolutely right, because 80% of the people who came to me are from referral, but the 20% who did not saw other therapists and coaches, 3 or 4. 3 or 4. One woman said to me, I was on my way to divorce, my divorce lawyer, and I saw your book. And I said, I remember this call. She said, you better be good because I'm packed. I've got my luggage. You better be good. And I knew what I was, and the more complex this thing is, the more I thrive on it.
How do you get these two people whose definition of love it's very different? I'll give you an example. I know of this couple who were together for 20 years. Then they divorced due to infidelity. 20 years passed by and they decided to give it another shot. Her definition of love, it's I will sacrifice myself for you. He believes that love gives without expectation. In his mind, that is the way that it is. Love doesn't require any sacrifice. And if I don't want to do something, I shouldn't have to do it, even if that is what you need. Where in her mind, love equals sacrifice. So every single time he wants something, she does it, even if she doesn't want to do it. So how do you move from there? She doesn't have any boundaries. So she's always wanting to give in. She feels that she's being taken advantage of.
So important. So let's say I've got these guys in front of me. So the first thing is the time of sacrifice is over. I'm just going to say it again. The time of sacrifice is over. The only exception is when a woman will raise a young family and you have to wake up in the middle of the night, take care of the baby. You may see it as a sacrifice because you're so exhausted. And because you are responsible bringing this soul into your life, you need to tend to the soul. So that's, if you want to call it sacrifice, yes, okay. But the sacrifice with men and women, that doesn't work. So I will tell this guy, because I've had the exact same scenario. I will tell this guy, say, what kind of car do you have, sir? Oh, I've got a Tesla. Good, 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 good. Do you go without putting the power in? You drive your car anytime you don't. Okay. Oh, okay, okay. Did you pay me the session today? Did you pay for the year session? Did you? Okay, okay. So how is it that it's okay with you? As a conscious man, I will use words that I know he can be this man a year from now, today. You with me? And you say, how is it that you know she's suffering and you're asking something from her when she's empty? What? How does that feel inside of you? E- Even if she was to sacrifice, it will never feel as good and when she's giving you from an overflow. And you'll say, can you teach my wife to give it? Yes. And then I'm turning to the wife and I said, you understand that if you keep going from a place of collapsing, of sacrifice, it feels yucky. And nobody's better off for it. Have you ever tried, I will tell a woman, have you ever tried to give a really rich compliment to a friend of yours? Oh my God, you're so beautiful. And she won't take it. Oh no, that old dress. You know how it feels like you vomited and they put vomit in your mouth. That's what it feels like. And what I will say to men is if you keep pushing her to give you something when she's empty, I ask him, do you want to know how it feels in her body? And he's going to say, yes. Okay, sir. It feels like the skin of your penis is stuck in your pants. That's what it feels like in her body. All men understand that. They go, ooh. So would you like to know how to reverse this? Would you like to know to get the best of her? Because I say, how much fun is it to make love to your woman when she's completely hot and ready and juicy versus when she's giving it out of duty? And then they get it. Then they get it.
Wow.
So why I get to tell them all of that stuff in front of, their mate. Two, then I say, let's get to work when you're alone. Let's get to work. This is what I want you to do this week. This is what I want you to do. I want you to do this, this, this. Because with coaching with men, you need action plan and you need step 1, step 2, step 3. And as this evolves, stuff will come up. And I usually will do emotional healing with him alone. And then I get him to teach him how to ask for healing from his wife because she also has a part of the disconnection. So if she's giving with resentment, nobody's better off. No, stop doing that. Stop doing that. And I've even negotiated couples separation within the time that they were together. So I stopped doing couples session for a little while and I would see them individually. And I would say, sir, go live in your Airbnb around or go live at your sister for a while. And that works so well that within 3 weeks, they're all back together.
Wow.
Because if you push, I'll push with you. And then they miss her. I tell the woman, don't call him, don't text him, let him be with himself. And sure enough, after a few weeks, like, I really miss her. Because they asked me permission to text their wife. I said, no. If you'd like to negotiate a reconciliation back, we'll do that. So I take them very seriously because I'm their representative of love and usually their children. And I go, I know how to do it. And you gotta do what I tell you to do, but this will work because I've got tens of thousands of hours of success. After that, there's no fucking around. After that, they either quit, which they don't, because secretly they want things to be better. And I keep investing with them and show them results of improvement. And that motivates them to keep on going.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm a
Wow.
beast. I'm a beast. If you work with me, because they all say to me, it's a lot of work to work with you, but you get your wife back. I'm cheaper than a divorce because I love love. Another reason why I did this is I hate unnecessary pain. Pain when you deliver a baby is a good pain because you have a baby. But suffering day in, day out, because make no mistake, by the time people find me, they've been unhappy for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. So you can't solve this in 10 seconds. I tell them right away. And if they get the results, because they all told me, I knew at some point that you got it. You got it and you know what to do and I could trust you. And that's when it gets smooth sailing for me.
Wow.
Yeah. Because I want to stop the unnecessary pain. All of the pain that you're describing, it's fixable. It's fixable. If you deal with somebody who's very knowledgeable in that. Yeah.
It's difficult to get them to see they hold the key. They have to establish boundary, that they have to choose themselves first. They want to be a good wife, a good girl. And yes, that is what we were trained to do, to be silent, to be quiet, to want to please. As you said, it doesn't feel good to give. It doesn't feel good to receive it like that. That belief show up in all of your relationships, not just with your husband, shows up with your kids, with
Yes.
your parents, with your friends, because they believe it's ingrained in you. So how do you break them away from that?
This is a sacred question. The first thing when I see a woman like this is I give her a healing myself. I ask her, would you like me to give you a sacred healing? Because I feel your pain. I physically feel it in my body. Make no mistake. I feel it in my body. So 100% said yes. And I say, I'm so sorry that you've been giving without anything in return. And I keep going and they're in tears. They're in tears because it's the first time that somebody that they respect, see it and feel it and has compassion. And I keep going and I keep going and I keep going. And I watch the body just melt into it. So I need to feel feel that hurt with the most love that I can. And that's why my work is so important. My work, I'm a very regular person, but my work is absolutely essential. It's extraordinary. And I know how to care for myself as a feminine being. So I fill myself up with everything: good sleep, good food, good sex, good everything. So I'm full when I'm ready to give to a client or a member of the family. And it shows up in all kinds of ways. Like when I have family over on Sunday, I prepare my schedule, but the last half hour is for me. I sit down with a tea, I sit down with a glass of wine, I look at my beautiful table, and I take care of myself before I serve everybody else. And I do this on a regular basis. So I teach them how to fill them up. Then once they filled up, I teach them how to say, this is it doesn't work for me, because a lot of the work I do is translating. The women who give too much, who are resentful, don't know how to say, I just don't feel it. It just doesn't work for me. Yes. So I get them comfortable in doing that. And then I have him sitting there and I say, sir, we've been working on something. And I give him a heads up. I've told your wife that anytime that she's going to feel all that resentment, she's going to say something that looks like, I don't feel good. And sir, if I were you and you love this woman, I would say, tell me about it. And just open yourself to her reality. Because I tell men week one, you will never truly understand the feminine, because we have a hard time understanding ourselves. 1 minute is this, 1 minute is that. Well, I say, if you stick with me and say and do what I tell you to do, you will understand enough to have ease with her. Because what men are seeking is to have access to their wife, and it's an easy flow. Because most men feel at war with their wife because they're more masculine. So what forces them, men, to be feminine? If she's masculine, it's gonna have to be feminine. But it's counter his instinct. So he collapsed and says, why would I bother? So I teach women to open up and be open to it, speaking their truth. No, I don't quite feel it like this. Can we do something else? It's the first step. And it takes no time, 2 weeks. And they practice this and they go, "Oh, well, we had a problem. I would love to tell you that we solved it in 10 minutes. We used to be without talking and having sex for 2 weeks, but now we solved it in 10 minutes. Like they're discovering, the knife. They're discovering, oh my God, it's possible. And then we can build on it. So it builds in her a sense of ownership of her life. It gets her to practice, which is so hard at the beginning, to speak her truth, to get him to understand even when he doesn't understand. Because he can, in my package, they have a 30-minute call. So they can call me and say, well, I'm trying to get this for my wife and it's not working. Tell me what to do. And slowly she gets to build a confidence that she had lost. And there's an energy that is more of an equal. The title of my book the picture of my book is this, because that's what everybody wants. There's a dance, and get them to dance together. In the week, they have homework, and in the week between sessions, they practice this. And 90% of the time, they have success. It's not perfect, but have success. So they report to me the week after that and say, how can we do this better? How can we fix that? So we don't let anything slide while they're with me. I say, make the best of me. We don't let anything slide that did quite work. We renegotiate a deal. And we renegotiate until we got a deal where everybody's happy. And it's absolutely possible because I believe it's possible. I have 20 years behind me that go, no, if this deal doesn't work, we have to change it. Oh, are you sure? I do this for a living. Yes, I'm sure. So that's when they get empowered into, it's possible to negotiate everything. Yes. I suspect that the couple that you're talking to, she doesn't know how to ask him in a way that he can hear her. So what did you do? Just a look, when a woman, just a look, like that look, men hate that. They report to me all the time. They hate that. And what you could say is, what you just said, it feels yucky because he can't argue on how she feels. And then I teach her, this is what you have to tell him. When you approach me like this, it just feels yucky. Can you take your time? Can you lower your voice? Can you ask me for a time so we can discuss things? So I'm not being caught by, all of a sudden. And if you want the worst of a woman or a man, ask something when they're not ready to give. So I teach them, this is when you need to give. My most difficult male client, I see them at 4 in the evening, because at 4 is when the testosterone is lowest. So they
Mm,
can hear me better. Yes,
very
you're getting girl.
interesting. Very interesting. And so I find when people are having issue connecting with one another, it's because they're speaking different languages that the other person doesn't quite understand what you're asking them for. And so to use that couple as an example, let's say she wanted to go out for ice cream and she wants to go out for ice cream on Sunday. She likes ice cream. He doesn't like ice cream. And he believed that she should go and get the ice cream by herself. She's asking for ice cream, but what she truly wants is connection and she wants to feel safe and she wants his company at the ice cream place. So, how do
Mhm.
you bring the two of them when this woman doesn't believe in being vulnerable and doesn't want to put herself in a position where she can be rejected?
Yes. So what? I've got the same couple in front of me. She goes, I want ice cream. Hey. He goes, I don't want ice cream. I say, sir, can I unpack this? Okay. She want ice cream with you. She loves the experience of you. And then I let him kind of digest that. But I don't want to do this. It's not about ice cream. It's about having her man next to her, because that's when she feels safe. Then I turn to her and I say, would you like to learn how to ask for your man to go ice cream? To go. Perfect. On Wednesday, she goes, you know what I'm feeling like? I'd love on Sunday if we can save time to go for ice cream with you, because it's the most fun experience of my week. It gives me such a nice connection to be with you. How can we make this work? Which guy is going to say no to this? It's respectful, it's kind, it's truthful, and man wants to know, what are you getting from this? Give him the credit. It's so much more fun when I have ice cream with you. I can buy my own ice cream, but it's so much fun when you're there. You crack me up. You laugh at me because I've got ice cream everywhere. It's just a fun experience. It's one of the most fun things during my week. How can we make
Wow.
this work? Easy, right? And then they take that model and they learn from it and they apply it to different things. So that's why I have them for a long time, because people have been in Discord for 10, 20 years. So within a year of working, they get to have so many experiences negotiated. By the time they graduate, they know what to do. They know how to. They don't let the little things go by. They go. So all my couples have 10 minutes of orchestrating their life. Who's picking up the kids, who's doing groceries, and that, and then 10 minutes of love before 9 p.m. at night, where they just hold on to one another and they can say, this is why I love you. What you did today, bringing me the coffee when I was so busy, I love that. Or they can say nothing. A lot of my couples just hold each other, because not everybody goes to bed at the same time. So that's why I put the limit at 9 p.m., because after 9 p.m., the body just kind of want to prepare for sleep. And they have their love 10 minutes of every day, which builds up. So they have a real connection. And he feels loved and respected, and she feels important to him. Then we can build that.
Wow. Wow. It's those little intricate details
Yes.
that make a huge difference. But if we don't, we should have a Chantel app how do I how do
You're
I
not the first
translate
one.
this from I want ice cream and I want it today and I want it now to hey, my love, let me tell you on Wednesday why I want ice cream with you and what a wonderful experience that would be for me. And yes, I can get ice cream all by myself, but I want it with you.
How can you make this happen? Now, this is a clip. You're right. I need an app. And, but if she does this well, but on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, she criticizes him all the time. Oh, that ice cream on Sunday. So you understand? It's the whole thing. It's the whole thing. It's the tone. I do full sessions of 90 minutes about the tone that she uses. I, I asked the man, how did she ask you this? And he imitates her. And she goes, no. So I also will teach them. If you're upset, then you say, this is upsetting for me. So I'm going to answer to you, darling. It's not going to be my best self, but I will do my best. And then I'll repair tomorrow. But right now I'm pissed. So they hate to be providing for them all kinds of things, even if they're not always nice to them, and not getting the respect, the appreciation, and the intimacy that they need. They need those things.
Mm.
So a man will stop providing. He doesn't get it, but he won't tell her. And I say, well, sir, why didn't you tell her that you were needing this? And he says, well, because she's not listening to me and she doesn't care. Okay. So what would it look like if she listened to you and cared? So I collect this information and then I start privately one on one, and then I get them to practice with me during the couple session. My clients understand, people who come in my world understand that I understand and I know how to teach them. And they need to trust me and trust themselves until they create a momentum for themselves.
Thank you very much for those gems of information because it's these little things that make our daily life a lot easier or a lot harder. And sometimes we're just so stuck in the pattern of repeating the loop that we have no idea
Mm.
how to stop it, how to get out of it. One piece of advice can get you further out from the loop and closer to whatever your relationship goal is. So thank you very much, Chantal, for taking the time to meet with me today.
You're so welcome. I'm so happy. Thank you for creating a beautiful space and really ask the difficult question. I wish for everyone to pick up whatever and then test it. You don't need to believe me, just test this. And you can absolutely improve. There is very little that cannot be repaired in a relationship. I can say that. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to talk about what I love to do.